welcome to another episode of Politics and Wellness. I am your host, Captivating Christian, and of course, you guys are my co-hosts. Sorry for running so late, but back to the regular flow of things as far as work is concerned, and everything happened all at one time, so it was a bit of a rush job, and I should have woke up earlier and just started everything, but I didn't. Um, and that's because my birthday's coming up. So yeah, we this same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow next week actually will be my birthday officially. So and as you know, he does not work on his birthday. So I may do just a prompt to hey, hi, bye, how's everybody doing? Question and answer type thing. Or maybe not. I don't know, depending on how I feel. But no, I'm sure I will. Because I love you guys, and it's always nice to see and hear from you guys, even though there is another life outside of YouTube. It's nice to know that you have people of like minds that come together and discuss some things. So thank you very much for popping in. Please make sure you hit that like button on your way in or out from the balcony. Hey, what's going on, brother Nate? How are you? I know Patty Duke will probably be in here shortly. But welcome, everyone. Hopefully, everybody's having a good start to their week. Shout out to my best friend. Her birthday was on Sunday, but we were celebrating like for 2 weeks straight. So trust and believe. If I don't celebrate for my birthday, I have celebrated enough for 2 birthdays. But of course, I still have to bring in my birthday. So. Um, Let's see. Of course, we're going to deal with some politics. I do have a bit of wellness that I can ask you guys about because it's pertaining to myself a little bit. Um, so I thought that'll be fun. And as far as politics, it's all over the place. So there's a few things I'm going to touch on. Not so much because, of course, I didn't do my due diligent research that I normally do. Because time definitely did escape me this week with everything I had going on. And then with Father's Day coming and me doing a project for my Maryland grandmother, I just been focused on other things. But yeah, where do we start? How you doing, Patty Duke? I knew you was here. I knew you would be here. And to everybody in the balcony, like I said, welcome. But let's get started. So Nevada, along with many other states, because Nevada is not the only one, trying to really put a stop on the teaching of, what do they call it? I draw a blank. Drawing a blank. What is the name of that? It'll come to me. But anyway, the actual name will come to me to escape me, but it's basically curriculum that is taught that does not whitewash history and basically teaches the real history of slavery, of the murders and killings of many indigenous people here in what we now know as America, and does not fantasize or create a Disney World kind of effect of the founding quote unquote forefathers of this nation, some of which have their heads carved on, thank you, Brother Nate. I don't know why I just brought critical race theory on top of Mount Rushmore. And we, behold these people as these great white Anglo-Saxon Americans who have discovered this way of life that has brought this shiny beacon to the hill, that the rest of the world seems to admire. The truth of the matter is, a lot of people contributed. Excuse me, hold on one second. Excuse me, didn't want to be rude, but the truth of the matter is a lot of people have contributed to what we know as America. A lot of black people, a lot of brown people, a lot of people that aren't white have contributed to what we know as America. Our very capital was designed by a black man. Washington, D.C. itself, the White House and all, were built um, by slaves. So to exclude the rest of that and just, as we've been taught for years, make it look like, oh, all these educated um, miracle whip folks have changed this world and made it such a different place. Hey, everybody, how's everybody doing? Welcome. Thank you for popping in. So I think that that's a bit much. But anyway, moving forward with that, Arizona is deciding as we speak to place body cams on teachers to ensure that they are not teaching critical race theory to their students. So pretty much, a lot of white Americans are butthurt, and they like the fact that that when history is taught, it is taught that they are at the top and everybody else is down at the bottom. But again, like I said, the reality of it is that that is not the case. Um, a lot of white Americans who you think invented things or created things stole it, stole the ideas, stole the patterns, stole whatever they could from many people, black, brown, and others. Just because one, they did not have the resources, two, they may not have known how to read, um, and they just stole it and took it. So to bring light and to bring uh, a true light to history would be a good thing. And I think, as much as we like to look to them to be allies, this would definitely be a time that if they ever wanted to be an ally, this would be a time where you would push forth the critical race theory, because the um, the inclusion of everyone in these United States, and breaking down some of the myths, the lies, the mistruths, and the disgusting facts, um, is somewhere where we need to start if we're going to truly deal with healing and moving forward. The fact that they still have a problem with admitting to the uh, barbaric uh, genocide type things that they have done throughout history is evident to the fact that they don't want to accept um, their place and the things that they have done, because of course they know that it will then upset people, and people would want to say, hey, you know what, this is messed up and I'm going to fight back. And they know that they feel that their place may be removed from the hierarchy stance. Um, but I mean, so be it. Throughout history, if you're a student of history, you know that every empire does fall. It doesn't necessarily mean that the nation will fall to shits, but it does mean that there's always a power shift, and those who were once in power, or once had the leg up, later on, not so much anymore. And this just may be that time. But um, you do need the people to actually come together to push forth to do that. Um, I find it a bit disheartening when, again, and I've said this tons of times, when we even got to have this discussion of why true history of this nation and other places are not told. Where's the fear? Why should there be fear in just knowing the actual facts? I mean, we have it in some of our textbooks. We're reading about it now. We're discovering it, now through the 100th anniversary of not only Tulsa, but other places, uh, 26 other places, cities in America that were burned by a group of white thugs who just felt like, um, you know, they didn't have enough, that they felt like the people that they considered to be less than them had more than them, even though the black people and the brown communities that had more than them, they were still working for poor white folks who could barely pay them. But sometimes all it took was a little, as they call it, a little white lie to destroy a whole community of folks. And I think that's the reality that they don't want to expose. The reality that all of these tons of people, hundreds of people, not the 30 and 40 people that they like to put in the textbook that died from some of these massacres, but hundreds of people, thousands of families, all these people and things were displaced due to lies, due to either white women saying that they were touched by black men, which still happens to this day, or Lord knows what else, what other lies were told, um, so landowners could get more land and profit, places where there might have been oil that were taken. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and on. So I just think, um, at what point do we just say enough's enough and expose the truth? And I think the only way we can expose the truth at this point, we cannot depend on them to expose the truth. We can expose the truth ourselves by doing our research, learning and growing, sharing stories with one another, information, books, dialogue, and stuff like that, uh, to move this forward. I'm over, trying to build a bridge, uh, because the truth of the truth of the matter, and the reality is that we can't build a bridge for them. They have to come together and kind of check their own people and build this bridge, because pretty much they started it. So it's like, if you really want to make amends with it, you would really have to do the work. And I think that's where we are at the impasse. Um, the fact that, yeah, I mean, they have. I truly believe that. That is, they've always known that. And whether or not they walked in that truth or whether or not they felt it, I mean, it's been taught to them since they were kids. I don't get why people don't get that. I've watched many people even recently talk about the critical race theory and kind of go back and forth with it. And it's just like, how are we having this discussion if we can recall through our childhoods of sitting or having history moments, and you've learned more about George Washington chopping down a cherry tree or whatever kind of tree it was, and this one and that one, and Benjamin Franklin with the key and the kite and electricity and all these other things than you've ever known about any black inventor, other than the ones that they give you the green light to talk about. And you didn't even learn about them until later on. So there's always been a disconnect with their history, excuse me, and promoting their superiority in not only here in the United States, but across the globe. I mean, for example, we can look just at this summit that President Biden, Lord help him, it looked like him and the Queen Elizabeth like neck and neck. But in all seriousness, you can look at the summit. Putin is walking around here almost like a modern version of an Adolf Hitler. And I say that because Hitler was able to use his Mein Kampf, use his Mein Kampf, his book, right? Have it translated in whatever language it needed to be translated. So copies came to the United States, and he had a backing, and people supported him. People in the United States government supported his theories. People in the private sector in these United States supported Hitler's theories. Hell, Walt Disney himself was a supporter of Adolf Hitler. All of that changed, however, when Pearl Harbor got bombed by the Japanese. And then, some people started to detract their support for the I can't even get the words out today, for the ideas of Adolf Hitler. But before Pearl Harbor, they were planning for Hitler to make a trip to the United States, like a public trip, not no secret where he, stayed at some wealthy Americans' homes and nobody really knew that he was in the United States. No, we're talking about the flags, the whole 9 yards. They were ready to, kind of hear what he has to say, let him, present himself to the United States, all that. Pearl Harbor happened, and it was like, well, we can't, I don't know if we could do this. We can't do this now because they've attacked us in that sense. So my issue with, and the reason why I kind of correlate the two, because Putin has done the same thing. He's infiltrated his beliefs, his theories to all of Europe and even the United States. I mean, you have senators who are sitting up here promoting his doctrine. They try to pull it off as Trump, but Trump, first of all, Trump's no longer in office. So then it's like, well, who are you following? You got Jeff Jordan sitting up here arguing, complaining, talking about how Biden has taken a trip to a summit when we're dealing with a quote unquote pandemic. But mind you, when Trump was president, he was over there having summits with Kim Jong-un and this one and that one, and it was all good, but people were dying, flat out dying, record numbers, and it's not a problem. So the double standard is definitely ridiculous, but yeah, and even Biden earlier talking about, basically giving Putin praises that, he's an adversary, but he's going to try to work with him and come to a common ground. Well, hell, if he's attacking the United States, whether or not he's doing it through third parties or whatever, but if he's attacked the United States, if he's attacked our electoral systems and anything of that nature, it's an attack, period. So what more is there to talk about? But again, you got to be that way when it's white on white crime, because, they don't go after each other like that, which I think is crazy. But moving past that, Juneteenth is coming up, and Putin Kool-Aid. Yeah, definitely Putin Kool-Aid. Juneteenth is coming up. For those of you who don't know, Juneteenth is a celebration down in Texas. Many of the slaves did not even know they were free. So many plantation owners in Texas, what was it, 2 years or more than 2 years of free labor? I mean, they was already getting free labor, but like free labor, like the slaves were free and they didn't tell them they were free. So when they, went down there to tell them, of course, it was a whole celebration. so on and so forth, which has now become a celebration called Juneteenth. Hey, what's going on, Ron P? Hey, Lynn T. I just wanted to say that. I know you've been in here. Hey, Pink, how are you? Um, yeah, all I can say is, as far as the awareness and the attention that it is getting, I appreciate it. Um, because it drives people to actually do the research and learn about Juneteenth and what it's about and that part. So that part I am all for. What I don't really like, of course, will be the taking it out of the original element and making it all about party and celebration. That part I don't necessarily care for, because we don't always have to turn everything into a hold down, um, pop your behind or pop your ass kind of celebration. Yeah, it's cool to celebrate um, those enslaved uh, black people knowing that they were free, right? That's cool. But we should be doing far more on Juneteenth than having parties and shutting down. I've read somewhere that this one hotel is like shutting down completely because it happens to coincide with Pride. So they're having like a Juneteenth and a Pride kind of. We're doing too much, too much, too much, too much, too much. The historical factors of that should always be celebrated. Um, just like we're told and drilled in the head, excuse me, about Anne Frank and her love affair with a much older man as they hid in an attic, uh, trying to hide from uh, German soldiers, is the same way we should be learning about Juneteenth and other enslaved situations. I just think, uh, things get glossed over so much and whitewashed to the point where the significance of the actual holiday or the purpose of it becomes so remiss. And if you continue with that attitude, what will happen is the younger people won't care anything about it, and you'll be liable to somewhat repeat the same thing all over again in some form, just like with slavery. That's why I think that's another reason why they don't want to do the critical race theory, because they prefer for these young people to forget about slavery, to think that slavery was just a glimpse in the thing. I mean, I actually came across a YouTube channel, and I'm not going to name it because, one, I don't remember it, but um, the young man who happens to be black, um, and it could have just been baiting for the title, because of course it could have just been clickbait, but I refuse to even indulge in that. But he was like that slavery isn't real, and Harriet Tubman and all these other people were fictional characters made to make people feel some type of way. And it's just like, where are you getting this from? Where are you getting this from? I'm not saying that all of the kind of stories or what have you actually happen the way they happen. Again, it's just like the Bible. We can sit here and go back and forth with what's actually true, what's actually kind of embellished to um, create an atmosphere in people of either hope, prosperity, uh, fear, damnation. When people say, words don't invoke emotions, they do. They do. They do. They do. They do. So when people say, "Oh, if I read a text and I read it where I feel an attitude of you're giving me attitude," and then I say, "Well, what is all this passive aggressiveness you're giving me?" And you say, oh, you can't read an emotion through text. Hell, yes, you can. If you can read a story in the Bible and become so inspired to then follow the protagonist in whatever story and believe as they believe, obviously it invoked an emotion inside of you. The same thing goes in this for me. It's just my opinion. But he said that, and I was like, the hell? Okay. I'm not going to bite because I'm not going to press it. But just the fact that you're there, and I'm looking at the views, and the views alone were like somewhere near like almost 100,000 views for that video. And I'm thinking, of course you're going to get views for that because that's what they want you to say. And they'd rather you say it because they know that somebody will look at it who looks like you, who'll think, you know what? I think it is fake. I think this whole thing has been fake the whole time. And the more you think it's fake, what's happening in the background? They're just chipping away at everything you think was already fake to implement their new rules. Just like, case in point, what they're doing with election fraud, quote unquote. You had people who died for the right to vote. Died, literally died. Was hung, beaten, burned. And those are just from the stories that we know about. There's countless others that we do not know about. Medgar Evers was shot in front of his house. Assassinated in front of his house for gathering people to vote. Many others killed just for promoting people to vote. You know, to bring Martin and Malcolm into that equation just for bringing awareness to people like, hey, we don't need to fight each other. We all poor in this. We are all poor in here, okay? None of us have what they have upstairs. So we can't sit here and fight each other to get where? When the people upstairs are still upstairs. But when they started talking, you know, when the talk became, okay, well, let's just get some rights. All right. Well, now here we got a little bit of something. Now let's get some more. Then we had to put the stop on what was more because what you got was enough. How was that enough? We're still fighting that same battle today. Martin Luther King talked about the filibuster back in the 60s. We're still having the filibuster We're still having the filibuster conversation today, which was created during the Civil War. Like the whole filibuster thing was created during the Civil War so that, of course, the Northerners or the people who are against slavery at the time, who happened to be Republican, would not be able to, you know, push through laws and things of that nature that would totally abolish their slave trade and their ability to make money. So, of course, the filibuster was created. So they had to get a number of people from the other side to flip in order to secure voting. That's how the 13th Amendment, you know, got through. If you ever watched Lincoln, which I do like. I mean, of course, the dramatization of it, but as far as the concept of how he had got some people together to bribe a lot of the senators who happen to be Democrats, to bribe them in order for them to vote. He just said he didn't want to know anything about it. But they put people in place. They gave them money to, hey, go out and get this person to flip or do what you can to make this person flip. I mean, they threatened people's lives, their livelihoods, their families, their jobs, their Senate seats. They did whatever they could to make to pass that 13th Amendment. Case in point, if they did it back then, what the hell do you think they're doing now? And so when I look at like Senator Joe Manchin from West Virginia, and I'm thinking to myself, the hell are you doing? You of all people, like I get it, but you of all people, you have the one of the poorest nation, one of the poorest states in the union, and you're willing to do all this just because a group of your people voted for Trump, and not just go, listen, guys, I know you voted for Trump. I know y'all really like Trump, but you guys are suffering. No, you'll ride with the bandwagon all the way to doomsday. For what? I don't understand it. Like, I really don't get it. But then part of me thinks that you was there to be the oops card. So if they ever gain power, we got somebody in our back pocket that would flip it for them. If they ever had full power, we have a stop because we have Joe in our back pocket. But he's gonna spring it on them when need be. I mean, it is literally poor. Like it. The parks they talk about are nice and pretty, but West Virginia is deep. Like where the casino is and all the other parts, you're like, okay, I could kind of see myself. You go a little deeper in as you're like, if you went through the state to get to Tennessee, you wouldn't even recognize it. You'd be sitting up here like, where the hell am I? But all this has to do with, and everybody said, I don't like to throw race in it. I think it has nothing to do with race, really. How could we have this conversation that it has nothing to do with race? I would love to think that a lot of this stuff don't have nothing to do with race. I truly would. But the reality of the whole situation is that it does. There's no way you can make me think otherwise. And that's part of me just being like stuck on my heels, knowing what I know, seeing what I see. There's no way you can tell me it's not about race. No way. No way. That people have to, like people like Madam Vice President Kamala Harris can't really say, this is a racist nation. Because that would affect if Joe makes it to the 4 years and runs again, shoots his chances out of the water. Because they don't want to hear that. They don't mind being racist or promoting systematic racism because it helps them stay on top, but they don't want to hear that they are. That's my issue with all of that. It's like, you don't want to hear the fact that you are, but you'd rather participate in a system that you fully know treats one way and the other another. I really don't understand. I'm looking at the video of the young teenager in Ocean City just recently. And the police officer kneeing the shit out of that young boy. First of all, it was already 3 of you mofos, 3 of you mayonnaise, backwards bacon smelling things on top of this young man. Then you had nerve to keep, constantly kneeing him. And the people that was recording it, some other officer that came and, kind of stood in front of one of the people that was videotaping because he knows that he was recording it from his phone. So I'm just like, come on. You don't need to keep seeing something to say, oh yeah, we have a problem with policing in America. Why do we need to keep seeing that? Why do we need to keep seeing people die in front of our faces to realize that there is a problem not only with the system of policing, but the mindset of the people who are involved in it. And the mindset of the people who are involved in it, that they're bigots or racist. And they either know that they are and don't care, or, they play that game like, no, I'm not. I have close friends. One of my closest friends are black. Okay, cool. If your closest friend is black and yet you seeing something happen in your precinct and you choose not to say anything about it, whether you're black or white, you are a participant because you are allowing it to happen. So then what do we say? So I really don't get it. You said, why wouldn't she? She is protected by the little law that they just passed. I don't know who you're talking about, who's they, but yeah, I mean, and they all are, and that's what they choose to do. So yeah, my issue with that, I could never come to grips with that. Um, I read a couple of articles about the middle of Tennessee having a black gun club, which I think is awesome. Now, mind you, this is not the first time that there have been black gun clubs. The Black Panthers were a part of the what you call it? The gun people, the gun association. Can't think of it. I can't think of anything right now. But the gun association, they were a part of it, right? But when the Black Panther Party became so big and basically, started to branch out different states, they had to put a stop to that. So then, as always, they created laws that would have blocked black people from earning their gun license and able to carry guns. Yeah. The NRA. Thank you, Jess. Hi and welcome. But yes, so once the Black Panther Party became huge and was populating everywhere, not only did the NRA put a stop to black people having guns, J. Edgar Hoover put a stop to, and that's another one. He's another fruitcake that everything in history that has his name on it, and every time they mention him or parade him around as some kind of savior of the American idea, he is the savior of the American idea. You know what idea that is, or ideals that are? Racist white ones. Even him gay, he's very much a racist first. His gayness came second or third, but he was very much still first racist. All about his whiteness and protecting their white history and everything that is white in America to stay white in America. So I'm really at a loss. Again, when we talk about, we don't want to teach critical race theory. Why? Because it would debunk a lot of these white myth history heroes that you have, and you will get to see that they were just slum. Because again, if we're going to talk about cancel culture, then take down Thomas Jefferson. But you ain't going to do that, because why? He was the writer of the Declaration of Independence. You ain't gonna do that. You'll cancel people now that may be stars or influential. You'll cancel them now, but you ain't gonna cancel nobody that you done looked up to as a superhero in the world of political juggernauts of these United States. No, you ain't gonna do that. You ain't gonna do that. But why not cancel him? He was a pedophile. He stole a lot of his writings and even the Declaration of Independence ideas from the French. So, I mean, again, we put these people on pedestals and treat them like, They were such geniuses, and I'm not taking away from any bit of smarts that these people may have had, but they were just as crooked as the next one, and just as grimy and closeted and everything else. Right, right, always. Um, was he biracial? I'm not sure about that. I will look into that. I'm not sure if he was, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he was. But there were a lot of biracial, even presidents way before Obama, what they like to basically just note him. But a lot of presidents were biracial. They just did not um, say anything about it. But they definitely had some black ancestry in them, or Native American ancestry in them. Cancel culture is a sham. Yeah, cancel culture is a sham. It is. It's a sham because it's only used on certain people. It's only used on certain people in certain situations. Okay, that's interesting. Was it his mother or his father? Because in the movie they depict his mother as being some old white, but they don't really talk about his father. So that's if that is the case, I wonder if it was his father. But yeah, he's a big racist, a big racist. He's murdered a lot of people, and that's why I don't understand why he gets the honors that he gets. A lot of these political figures that we deem to be the pillars of American democracy, a lot of these people get huge accolades. A lot of their family members still get money. Thomas Jefferson's white relatives still get money from the US government. The black relatives just started getting some money. Like a few years ago, I think after Oprah did that expose of the families coming together, they started giving some money to the black side of Jefferson's family, but they never even thought about it before then. But again, that's what this does. It just exposes and brings to light actual truths and not sugarcoating stuff and having people believe that, that's why white people walk around, and not all white people, let's be clear. So please don't come at me with, uh, you know, you saying all white people. If you that dumb to think I'm thinking about all white people, then so be it. However, just like I said earlier, if you're in that category and you're not doing anything about it, then you are complicit. If you don't know what to do some research, read. Um, we should not have to kind of dumb down anything that has happened to us or any of our experiences to help you understand. If you want to understand something, you read and do your research. It's just like school. If you want to learn something, you crack the book open, you study to show yourself approved, then you take a test. You pass the test, so be it. You know what I'm saying? You move on. You get your little piece of paper that tells you know shit about this topic. Um, you go on with life. It's the same thing. We should not have to sit here and be explaining constantly pain or why we feel a certain way about the things that has happened or the things that are happening in our communities. That's bullshit. Bullshit. Complete and utter bullshit. Hands down. Um, Even with the gentrification, we sit up here still trying to explain why it happens and who it affects. You can't see that? You can go to any inner city, take a picture before and after, and you can even tell the difference. You can go to Brooklyn right now, and Brooklyn looks nothing like Brooklyn used to look. Nothing at all. By the Brooklyn Bridge, all that over there, Forget about it. You would have thought you was at the National Harbor here in Maryland, D.C. area. Like Ferris wheels, all types of shit. And you're like in Brooklyn? In Brooklyn. Yeah, all in Brooklyn. Just looking crazy. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. It's Hutchinson. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But yeah, just so crazy. What's a segue? But yeah, I just I don't get it. I really don't. Let's see what else. Talked about that. We talked about that. They got little white kids dressed up in civil, reenacting Civil War. Just foolishness. Without really telling the true story, making it seem like, oh look, see, white people was fighting for black people's freedom even in the Civil War. Again, bullshit. It wasn't even about that. It wasn't concerned about, neither side was concerned about giving people freedom. Okay? Neither side. Let's be very clear. The Republicans, of course, some were abolitionists, but even the abolitionists had a level of degree of freedom that they considered freedom. Some felt blacks should not be slaves, that every man should be free. But to the level of free as they were, absolutely not. They still felt that there should be some sort of separation between blacks and whites. Not all, but some did. So during this whole Civil War thing, which mainly had to do with these wealthy plantation owners not wanting to pay taxes to the American government for all the money that they're making. Same deal. We're not alcohol illegal until the United States government started making money from it. Then it became cool. We're not smoking cigarettes, something kind of illegal, until the United States government started making money from it. Look at marijuana right now. That's been illegal forever. People are still sitting in jail for the smallest marijuana offenses. Now you got dispensaries popping up everywhere. As a matter of fact, these white boys are buying up old banks, okay? Because they just opened one up not too far from me, and making it out a dispensary. So much so that, the bank drive-through that you go to, and the little vacuum tube, and you put your money and your stuff in it, and you send it up the little vacuum tube. You can go through the drive-through and get the same thing from the vacuum tube. You put your order in the paper, you put your little money in the soup, it come up in the pipe and come back down, and there you go. So as long as they're able to make money from it, it's all good. It's when they can't make money from it when we have a problem. So when the government was trying to tax a lot of these rich white Southerners that was making hand over fist of money, okay? Even Queen Victoria was making her bit of money too, until she started to see the true effects of slavery. Because it's different when you don't see it. When you're just making the money and you don't see what it's causing, you don't really get, it doesn't affect you. But when you get to see it firsthand, then you start to maybe, those of people that have a bit of sense of self start to feel some type of way. So then she was like, no, let's detract. Doesn't mean that a lot of the British government wasn't still making money from the slave trade, but she decided that she was not going to be a part of that. Whoop-de-doo. But, yeah, that has happened. It's happening now. So I don't buy it. And I just wish that we would that we would really, because it's up to us to teach our children, our grandchildren, nieces, nephews, um, and for us to learn ourselves about the stuff that we don't know, um, and not leave it to just, oh, well, it has nothing to do with me. Oh, well, it's not important. Everything is important. Everything is important. If we do not follow through and learn ourselves and teach ourselves and watch what's going on, not just the world, but here where we live in our local governments and our local situations, we will find ourselves in a deeper situation than you ever thought slavery was. Yeah, mind you, people still ran away, but try running away when you have a chip implanted in you that is tracking your every move. You try running away then. So that's what I'm just saying. Like, if we're not serious about what we're doing and where we're going, we could end up someplace that none of us really want to be and didn't see. And didn't see. Because if you don't think that that old ass man who's 75 years old or whomever he is groomed or who they have groomed to take his place is not waiting till he gets the go ahead to start running for 2024, you're sadly mistaken. Because he's coming. He's coming. Anytime you have the vice president, former vice president, talking about he still believes in Donald Trump, nigga, that dude tried to kill you. There are people out there trying to kill you. And if they caught you, and if they was able to catch you, you don't think they would have harmed you? Any of them people. If they were really able to get their hands on them, that's leverage. That is leverage. Them police officers, that National Guard, would not have been able to touch any of them people because they would have hostages. And we would still be dealing with that right now. There would be no president, okay? It'd be make Donald Trump the president again, or we killing folks. And what would they have done? Bowed down and made him president again so people wouldn't be harmed? They already know what they were doing. They know exactly what they were doing. The problem with a lot of us and a lot of the Democratic Party, because they, it's wealthy white money, so they want to feel like they're doing something with their money. They want to feel like, oh, when they leave this earth, they've done something. But at the same time, it's that whole thing that I talked about earlier. It's like, I don't feel like you should be deprived of your freedoms, but do I feel like you should have as much freedom as I have? The ability to walk around this earth like I do? No, not really. No, not really. So they'll give you certain things, but they ain't going to give you everything. We'll talk about how bad Rosewood was and how bad Tulsa was and how bad the MOVE organization massacre and bombing was. But we ain't going to do nothing. We ain't going to give you no money for it. What are we going to give you money for it for? But I can turn around and give money to all of the surviving people from the Holocaust. I can turn around and give money to any of the Asian descendants who worked on the railroad. I can turn around and give money to all these people, but I'm not going to turn around and give money to Black people because of slavery. But what are they going to do with that? Why would we do that? What good would this serve? And this is not only coming from, and I wish people would stop saying this, because that whole statement did not just come from the people like Joe Biden's and the Kamala Harris's of the world. That very statement came from Bernie Sanders. What would we do? What would we do? Why would we do that? Why not? Did your ancestors not get money and still get money from the Holocaust? I know there's some Jewish grandmothers that still get money from Germany. So what's the problem? The problem is giving that money would cause the shift. And I don't want to, I like you and all. I think you do great. I love your entertainers. I love going to the sporting events. I love cheering you guys on. You guys are phenomenal at sports. You guys sing well. You guys do all these great things well. But I just can't give you, I can't just relinquish that bit of power that I have to you, because my fear is you're going to do what we have done to you. That's all this is. It's like, I'm fearful that you're going to do exactly what we have done to you. Knowingly or unknowingly, you're going to do it. I mean, throughout history, it just proves itself over and over and over and over again. I know I've mentioned this before, but I'll say it again. In James Cohen's book, A Dream and a Nightmare, which compares Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream to Malcolm's By Any Means Necessary, great book if you ever come across it. It talks about how they were dueling against each other and then kind of switch positions as the civil rights movement started to lose momentum because the backing of the white folks, again, like Black Lives Matter, again, pay attention to how all this stuff repeats itself. When we think, oh, all this stuff don't matter, it repeats itself. When the civil rights movement had the backing of white folks due to, here's another one, media presence, media influence. When people were just hearing or reading that this young 13-year-old boy was beat half to death because he whistled at a white woman, I'm sure many people in America thought, well, good for him. He shouldn't have whistled at her. He should know better to whistle at a white woman, until that woman decided to show her son's face for the world to see, is when people started to take notice. Those 4 black little girls that were killed in the church bombing, read about it, didn't think nothing of it, until the media got involved and people got to see pictures of the church, how those children's bodies looked, the funeral services, people passing out from the extreme heat, all of that. The same thing with Bloody Sunday. White folks did not get moved in their spirit to do something until they saw it in their face. We can fast forward now from George Floyd to the countless others that we've seen. Philando Castile, seen, murdered straight in front of our faces. Before then, folks, black folks, all y'all got to do is comply. All you got to do is comply. Now you see compliance, and it still ends up in a murder. So then make it make sense. Make it make sense. But that brings you to go, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. So then you run to the streets and you do all this. So then Black Lives Matter, from Mike Brown to Trayvon Martin, Black Lives Matter, the movement gains legs, right? So then after all of these video killings and murders of unarmed black folks, after a while, you get a couple things signed. The media quickly throws out, because, there's good and bad media too. I'm not saying it's all perfect, but the media throws out, the family's getting this million, the family's getting this so amount of million, blah, blah, blah. Instantly, everybody's supposed to think, the family's getting paid, so we should be good, right? We should be good. So we're going to stop marching. We're going to detract our dollars, our white dollars, from promoting your thing. And it starts to die down. The same situation happened in the civil rights movement. King was at the White House. Johnson was signing the Civil Rights Act. Yet atrocities was still happening in the South and other places to black folks. And they felt like, well, you got something, right? You should be okay. So they backed down, started to get Martin like, what the hell is going on? Like, we still are in a fight. Like, this is not over. There's poor people everywhere. Not just poor black people, it's poor white people too. And if we come together and actually fight this fight, we could win. Oh, no, they didn't like that speech. They got rid of him real quick. Even like Malcolm, he's always been by any means necessary, but at some point it switched to, all right, I may not be able to do this all on my own or with just my people. I need to kind of look to the other side to help me cross that path where if I'm engaging with them, they can give the okay and I can move into different spaces. No, they weren't feeling that either. And now we're at an impasse where we're in the same place again, same place. Teenagers, young adults, men, women, just dying for no reason. And quickly, first thing they say is, officer, oh, I was in fear for my life. How? How when you're an officer? That is your job, to protect and serve. So if you're fearful or afraid of losing your life, what the hell are you doing there in the first place? No, because the reality of it is, for you get to display your authority on people you deem less than you. And again, not all officers think that way, but the majority of the ones that are always in the shits, that's just what they think. It's evident. That young teenager in Ocean City with that police officer constantly kneeing him in his back and all that mess, to do what? For him to do what? With 3 other officers on top of him. So I'm really trying, we can sit here and talk about, oh, well, they need more training. Fuck the training. Fuck the training. Because the reality is, if you're trained, right, you're trained to do that actions or do those actions that you're trained to do, regardless of what the person looks like. Because all you're trying to do is follow through with the action to whomever it is. So if you pick and choose who you're going to follow through and do your training, you're making that choice. It's just that simple. Hey, what's up, Abso? What's going on? So I really just understand. Just be real, cat got your tongue now, but I don't know what that means. Right, and you can't untrain that. That was different. Sorry, that was them. Yeah, but you can't, like you said, Nate, you can't untrain that. That is trained. That's trained. That's biases. That's what you feel. There's no dismissing that. And that irritates me the most, that it's always dismissed as, oh, they need proper training. They need people who are trained to deal with people who have mental illness and all those kind of things. And yes, that is true. But a lot of it has to do with the fact that when they see you, they see less than them. So it doesn't matter how much training you give them. If they see you as less than, you will always be less than. So then you would need to, like a cancer, you need to remove it, or else it will spread. And at this point, it has spread so much that it's like, will you ever remove? Will it ever be cured? Probably not. Probably not. But if we don't constantly hit that bitch with radiation or some kind of treatment, you might as well give up. You might as well give up. Okay, something happened. I don't know what's going on. If it's really protect and serve, it's supposed to be. Well, I mean, it is supposed to be all, I would think. But I'm confused as to what happened. But okay. Um, you are a descendant of what? Okay, I'm not even gonna entertain it. Okay. Yeah, I am. I am. Um, okay. Just email me, I guess, whatever it was, because I'm totally like I don't get it. But yeah, I mean, we all are descendants of some form or another in some way. So trust me, there's nothing I'm speaking on that I don't know myself and know my own family history. Um, but as far as what we live in today, right now, it's it's a true testament of history repeating itself. And yeah, we have the ability to phone record and all these other things that may um, shine a light to a lot of these murders and killings of unarmed black people, of children. Um, but the system shows no justice for these souls that are lost. None. But they'll just throw some money at the family sometimes, um, and think that that's supposed to make the entire community heal. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Again, when I see myself, when I see you, I'm not going to treat you as I want to be treated, as the book that they throw around says. Treat people how you want to be treated. But if I don't see you, if I don't see me in you, how am I going to treat you? Not like myself. And that goes for us too. We got to start seeing ourselves in each other. Like we used to do back when we had no choice. That's the only thing I say. That segregation and inclusion has made us lose that sense of ourselves, where we looked at ourselves. Well, when I seen, a brother or a sister, I seen myself, and there was no run to, oh, I'm gonna take what you got, because we all realized that we all same things. Hey, what's going on, Lady P? That level of like love and respect that we have for one another, but again, it was a tool too to destroy. If I integrate, I can chop at that power. I can chop at that sense of pride. I can chop at that, because then I'm saying, by integrating, look how much better this is than that where you live. Because before, when that's all you knew, so it was good to you. It was nice to you. It was standard to you. But when you got to say, look at this cream, look, you can make your hair like this. to even get a better job or to get hired someplace else, and you don't have to work here. It totally flipped the game in their benefit. Because it'd have been a whole nother thing to just say, we're just going to keep it separate. But what we're going to do is, since we believe in keeping it separate, but what we're going to do is give you exactly what we have and put it where you are. So the same schools, you'd be able to get the same books, the same access to education, whether you go to, you may have to go to an all-black school, but the all-black school will have the same thing that the elite Ivy League white schools have. Who would be mad at that? Nobody would. I can't think of a person that would. Because even in their argument, Martin and Malcolm both, the integration part, they knew it was going to be detrimental. But if that was the only way that they could see some leeway in finding some ground where they could get the right to vote and do other things, but it killed us, and it still is killing us. Because we can look at each other today and see someone with some Jordans on or something else and be ready to take them, but you live in the same community as the person you stole sneakers from. To do what with? Walk around in the same area with the same sneakers? I don't get it. I really don't. I don't get it. Again, because we don't see ourselves when we look at each other. But it starts with us. But I'm done rambling, guys. I did have a wellness part too, but I think I'll save that. But just real quick, it was just a brief wellness. This will be my first birthday that I don't celebrate with my twin, just because we're not seeing eye to eye right now, which is fine. But I'm petty, stubborn, which means like I'm not gonna even bother. Like I'm not bothering calling. Like I'm not doing that. So it is what it is, and yeah. So that's it. But if you would like to hit the link and share your thoughts or stories or comment that I did not see or explain on something, because I'm not going to scroll back up and down, but thank you so much for your participation, everyone. And thank you for your comments, and those that I did catch. Those that I didn't, please don't. Yeah, I do. I have a twin sister, actually. Yeah, I'm older though, but I do have a twin sister. I am older by 8 minutes. Are you ready, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Call your sister up, man. Stop being dumb. What'd you say?
Nope. No.
Call up. Or you call up and just say happy birthday, and just
Nope.
then that's it. Nope. That bad?
It's that for me. It's that bad because I'm always the one to be like, oh, don't do that, or I'm just like, at this point, I'm really just like, no. I know life is short, but she needs to know that too. Like I'm always the one being I'm the savior all the time, and right now I'm just like, yo, I'm not doing that. I'm not bowing down.
Not going to send her a card. Still send her a card.
I mean, I could do that.
Yeah, do that.
With
do
no
that.
return
Send her a
address.
card.
Okay, with no return address. Great.
You said no return address?
Address.
You're petty.
I said that.
Oh, okay. I mean, as long as you know.
I do. That's half the battle, is knowing yourself. So, okay. Yeah, no return address though. If I do, I might use my PO box though. But no, I didn't even want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
No return address. I'll do the card with no return address. Yes.
No, don't.
Yeah, I
tell you, family. You know.
I said no, but that really is, and it's like for me, and with my brother too. So I know he's gonna be like, when he watches this, but for years, like since we were little, my mother would give us the same speech and do the same, and it was just like it was embedded in me the most, I guess. Um, hey, I'm not gonna be here forever, but when I do go here, when I do leave here, this is what I want. This is what I expect of you all. This is what I expect you to do. This is what I expect you to be. Blah 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 blah. And it was like, okay. So when that moment was happening, it was totally like, this is happening. Kick it in.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm looking at these mofos like, where the fuck y'all been? Like, were y'all not listening to the same speech constantly? Were y'all not?
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It behooves, like, and what behooves me the most is, like, I'm closest to my twin sister, of course, and then our older siblings are kind of like, oh, whatever. You know, if something was always wrong with her, even with my mother, if something was going on with my sister, she wasn't kind of doing whatever, my mother called me up mentally. See what's wrong with your sister. And then when I was like, you know, what the hell are you doing? Because I'm not that. What are you doing? What's wrong? Mommy said. I was like, go get your shit. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't have to talk to her like that. So then I just like,
no,
listen,
you floated around for 9 months with her. You grew up with her. You know her as well, if not better.
Than she knows herself. And then
Mm-hmm.
people try to act like they know. Like, it was that we walk into a room, they ask her a question, she look at me. You know what I'm saying? So it was like always speaking for, always, and it's just like, okay, now you put yourself in a predicament where you can't get out of it even if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I can't. And even with the way things are right now, I just can't. I understand we were, you know, blessed in many ways. There are certain things that I did not grow up and see until I was a full-fledged adult that I understand. I know I'm naive to a lot of worldly things because I didn't grow up in that world. I grew up in a very, you know, privileged kind of, you do speeches, you're doing this, you're doing that. Oh, you speaking here, you're doing this, you're doing that. I didn't do all that other stuff. So when I came to and seeing like, oh, okay, this is what some people were doing or how they were living, I was kind of like, oh, wow. Like, you know, thanks, Mom, for not, for keeping me sheltered, but at the same time, still exposing me or allowing me to the freedom to kind of branch off and be myself. And for my sister, she didn't get that. But at the same time, it's like, girl, I'm not playing with you. I can't play the game with you. So I'll sign the card, Patty Duke. I'll sign it, but I ain't putting no address on it or nothing where you could send something back. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't want nothing.
Do that so that you'll never have a regret. Something as simple as that, you know, it doesn't hurt.
I don't regret things, but okay. I mean, I'm listening. I'm listening.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But we can't. Cancers can be petty, like especially if the cancer is doing a lot or constantly doing. Yeah, I could have a petty moment, and I have every right to be petty. Like, I ain't even going into detail, but I have every right to be petty.
Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes you'll have to have a truce, you know.
Yeah, but why I always got to be the one to do the trucing? That's what I don't understand.
Because some people just never get it.
Well, that's not my problem.
Yeah, but you'd be the better person. Do it for yourself.
Well, I've always been the better person. I know I was the better person. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's the knowing of the self that a lot of people would say. Like, growing up, my brother will always say it, but you know, everybody in my house would be like, "Oh, he's so arrogant." And it's like, no, I'm not arrogant. I just know myself. I've always known myself, and I never compromise myself, even if it meant I was going to get in trouble. Like, I stayed in trouble. TV was always off or game pulled out My mother say she'd pull it out the wall, and then too, I would do it. I would be petty, and she'd be like, "Didn't I say cut the TV off?" And I'd be like, "Okay," and I go right upstairs. If she made me mad by doing something or accusing me of doing something that I didn't do, she'd make me mad. I would go upstairs, supposed to cut the TV off, and turn it all the way up, and then just sit there and let her come all the way up the steps, because she'd do this like run all the way up the steps to cut everything off. Because I'd be like, "Well, come cut it off," then. Like, so there is a very strong petty in me. There's a very strong petty in me, and I'm not going to deny it. Yeah, it is. So, I've been praying about it and kind of sign. I got a week. I mean, at least a couple days. At least like by Friday. That way it'll get to her on Tuesday. Yes. Yes, Patty Duke. Can you see me? What? What do you mean? Well, damn. What? Prayer is key. Yes, prayer is key. I've grown up in the church. I've been raised in the church. I taught Sunday school when I was a little kid, like 13. They were like, "Oh my gosh, could you teach?" And I was like, "I guess." But then it became fun. Like, it was like, "Oh, this is fun." And then after a while, it was like, "Okay, I'm over this now. What's next?" But I don't know. This is just. It's harder because it's my twin. Like, I've even gone through this, and she's probably gonna watch this too, with my older sister. But we didn't grow up together. She's my biological father. That's his daughter. So I just met her back in 2010, and we've been building a relationship kind of since then, but it's been off and on because it's that whole, I didn't grow up with you, so I don't quite know your ways. So when you do something that makes me go, whoa, I really go, whoa, and step all the way back until I feel like it's okay. Unlike like my twin sister, my older brother, who I grew up in the house with, I know their antics and how they move. And so when I know they're going that way, it's like, you're doing it again. And, we may take a break or not, and you get back right and we're good. But with her, it's like, I'm still learning you. So
yeah,
it's a bit different.
Well, it's like learning a stranger.
You can see me turning the TV up. You can't see me turning the TV up. Oh yeah, I would, because I just, as a kid, I stayed to myself. Like, I was never one to be like, oh, like me. It's like, you liked me or you didn't. But people did gravitate towards me. So it was just like, it was what it was. But at home.
It's probably because you didn't care.
That too. Yeah, more than likely. But at home, I could be just in my room for hours just reading or playing a video game. And people were like, where did he go? Where did he go? You didn't hear me calling you? I did. But like, you didn't want nothing. Where would I go? Like, if you really wanted me, you would just come up the extra flight of steps and go, oh, here you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just call it. And I said, yes. You ain't answer back. And I just went on doing what I was doing. So, just chilling in my crab shell. That's what I was doing. So, at the end of the day, I don't mind doing that. But she is... if there was ever such a thing when people say, oh, cancers are sensitive, but she is every bit of whatever cancer is. She is all of it. Like, she is super sensitive, but she can be a total when she want to be. And she can only be that way with me and everybody else that she displays this whole, oh, she's so nice. Oh, and it's like, she is a real.
Yeah, that's true, Pink.
What she said. It's difficult always being the bigger person. It is, and it gets frustrating. Like, you don't have to understand. Like, I am the bigger person, even with my bigger siblings. Like, the people that I should be looking to sometimes to be like, okay, lead the way. I gotta be like, okay, move the fuck out the way. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna do this. Got it? Good. Okay. And I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to do that. So,
Well, thank God it's family.
well, sometimes I don't thank God. If it was other people, you could just walk away and just not have no kind of like, oh well, and chalk it up. But with these people, sometimes it's like it's gonna be an event, good or bad, that will bring you back into that space. And then they're well, why y'all don't speak? So and so told me you ain't speaking to her. It's not that I'm not speaking to her. It's that I'm not gonna sit here and break my neck to call you. I'm not. You know my emails. You know all that stuff. We have family members. So if you really trying to reach me, you could be like, hey.
You can send a message by somebody else.
And the fact that you expect me to do so? I'm not. In that sense, I'm more like my mother. Like I'm not doing it. Not doing it. It is what it is. I said what I said.
Oh, and while I'm thinking about it,
What's that?
Comcast, you are trash. Okay, you can go on back.
Yeah.
Yep, got me talking on this little phone that I can't even see. Okay.
Well, I appreciate the sacrifice, brother. I appreciate it.
Oh my God. Because I know you had those heavy storms that rolled through. Yesterday. They were ridiculous.
They were. They really were. I was like, so we about to have a tornado?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, stuff was blowing. But I am thankful we still ain't get them cicadas though. You can keep them.
And every day I have to go out and sweep up the dead bodies because they smell. They smell.
Yeah.
And they're noisy.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that. I said
all night. And when it heated up outside, they get louder.
Yeah, I saw that. Being the bigger person, I tried to punch in the face.
Yeah, but whenever I have a problem with somebody, I usually call a truce. Say like if there's pregnancy or there's a funeral, then I'm not as petty. But other than that, everything goes back to normal.
Oh no, I'm funeral petty. I am funeral petty. I have on my shades. I'm sitting in the back.
I'll speak, but I'm not like, oh, don't give me a hug, that type of thing. I'll speak and everything, and I'm cordial.
Yeah, I'll speak, but it's very short. It's very just like, hello, and I'll go take my seat, and it's like, don't come with me talking because I'm very much doing the late and great Aretha Franklin when Patti LaBelle reached out for.
Reached out for.
I do that. I'm like, whoa, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Yeah, great.
Mm-hmm. I see you, Patty. Okay, keep right on walking down the aisle. Girl, I got a show to do.
Right. Hey, Queen Diva. I don't know. I just always I've been that way. Like it's like I really don't. I take a lot. I do, but when I'm done.
That's right, Lindsay. Done. You'll know that I'm not speaking to you.
Yeah, I'm done, and I will every inch of my body will let anybody around me know. You can just read it in my face and my whole motion. Oh yeah, he's not fucking with me. Yeah, I want you to feel that exactly what I'm giving. I want you to feel like, don't bother. Oh, thanks, bro. It's not till next Tuesday, but thank you for the early birthday wish.
Yeah, I got a brother-in-law like that. I don't speak to him anymore. He's pretty much dead in my eyes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's like.
But at funerals, I'll speak. I'll say good evening.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's it.
Yeah, I used to be that way as a kid. I was like, stop doing that. Don't do that. For what? If you don't let people know sometimes that they have affected you in whatever. Yeah. They'll
think everything's all right, and they'll continue to do it.
Yeah, they'll continue to do it. And trust me, with her, because I've always had to be the one to kind of, that's your twin. You gotta look out for her, and she's known that kind of. It's always been that way. I mean, I've saved her through something that I was like, damn, I didn't even do this. Well, why you like? we didn't even grow up like that. I could see if we grew up in that kind of atmosphere, it would click to me. But we didn't grow up in that kind of atmosphere, nothing like that. So it's like, oh, you watching TV and decide when I get older, I'm gonna do this shit. Like, cause it really don't click to me. It really don't click to me. So at this point, it's like I love you to death. Because even my brother all the time says, well, when this and that happens, she's coming to stay with you, right? So why can't she stay with you? I know she can't stay with me. She's gonna come to you. But I know this. You know what I'm saying? I know this, and that's the part I think that makes me the most like, because if anything happens, God forbid, the first person you're gonna come to is me, because you really know that everybody else is gonna for a while, but they're not going to really like I would, because we have been so close for so long. So I don't know. It's just weird, but I mean, I'll get over it. I'll send the card though. I'm not gonna not send the card. I'll send the card.
Yeah, send the card. But as long as you do something, you don't have to. You don't have to speak.
I wasn't speaking. I don't even think I'm gonna write it. I'll get an expensive one, like a Hallmark card that says something.
Oh, you better than me. I went to the dollar store and got a whole box.
I was thinking that, but I was thinking you gotta say something. You gotta really write something, because it'll only be like 2 words, and I don't feel like writing.
Happy birthday. We shared a womb.
Well, I mean, she was hiding. I didn't even know she was there.
Usually she was hiding. She's hiding behind the kidney.
Mm-hmm. Literally, nobody mentioned them. My mother was like, the way she told the story, like she was like, no, something's still going on. And lo and behold, there she was. But yeah. Yep. So I don't know. This should be interesting. So for those of you who know the word of prayer or whatever, say a little prayer that
we'll pray for you.
Yeah. I'm gonna send a card. I'm not gonna be that super petty. I'll send a card, but that's all.
Sure, we'll ask you.
Yeah, ask me when the last time I got a card. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Right.
One of those too, huh?
Mm-hmm. And I'm the one that remembers everybody's birthday. Okay. I'm still trying to figure out why the older sibling, and she's gonna kill me about this too, but I don't care. The older one forgets mine. And it's the same. Oh,
and remembers your sister?
It's the same day. No, hers is on the 22nd of a particular month, and ours is on the 22nd.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, that would be, of course, to remember. It's the 22nd. Like, of course you should remember. She'd be like, shoot, the next day, happy birthday. Like, it's the day after. But thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I say it's the day after for a reason. So it's the day after. Oh, so it was yesterday. Okay, let me note that. The fact that you don't do that doesn't mean that you choose not to, or whatever. And I don't have time to figure it out. But I know when your birthday comes, I go happy birthday. When your founder's anniversary day comes, happy anniversary. Blah, 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 blah. All these things. So it's just like, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Yeah, that does piss you off when they don't take the time to do the way that you do.
Yeah, it don't take much, especially.
Matter of fact, you can just put it in the computer now. It'll pop up automatically. It'll tell you 10 days beforehand.
This is what I'm saying, that there's no excuse at this point. So I don't have that level of, I'm gonna let it slide. It's like, no, you got too many kind of gadgets and gadgets to let you know when something is for you to kind of play that ignore game. So if you want to play it, I can play it too. You ain't gonna like when I play it though, because you're so used to me reaching out and acknowledging those days. Mm-hmm. And if I didn't, you gonna feel some type of way. But just wait, it's coming.
Vengeance is mine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily mine, because of course.
Yes, it is. It is.
No, but I'm entering in a new phase of my life, and it's like,
what's that new phase?
Time to cut the bullshit phase.
What's the new phase?
It's the cut the bullshit phase.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the I'm turning 40, cut the bullshit phase.
That too, I guess.
Oh, okay. You'll be all right.
I mean, I know. I'm not really that like like that. I mean, although the grays are coming in stronger all of a sudden, it was like overnight. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, like all here. It was like Jesus
Mhm.
Christ. Um, yeah,
We call
but
you Snowcat. Ha ha.
whatever. I'll still make it look good. But
Well,
then,
that'd be better. That'd be better than just being called Mint.
yeah,
Where was you at, Lynn T? We was looking for you Friday.
right. Mint. Really? You couldn't let that one go? Speaking of mint, um, for those of you who haven't checked out the nightcap, please do check it out. We have a hoot and good time. Although some people like to come on at the last minute when I'm ready to go, and then we want to keep going on for another 30 minutes. That's fine.
You can still wrap it up.
That's fine.
You can say, make it quick, make it quick.
No, that's
Well,
fine.
you didn't drop the link until late.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that is true. That is true.
Well, if you don't want to come on, don't drop the link.
No, I don't mind. You know, I
No,
don't
but
mind. We always have a good time. But it always gets funnier then, and they'll be like, "Oh God, I'm tired." And then he gets off and go, "I'm so sleepy." Oh, but you was going back and forth with homeboy. That's all I was like, get out.
Look, yeah, you better get him off of there. Be a friend, like I said, because you don't want him living with you again when his when his ass gets kicked to the curb. Because it'd be that one time that his old man will look at it and say, "Who the hell was that?" Then he's going to go on Twitter and pull up that little boy's page and say, "What the fuck is this?"
Right.
And then the next thing you know, you'll get a phone call from the airport. Can you send somebody to come pick me up?
And I'll be like, I can't right now. I'm working. I'm gonna call mom and see what she can come do. Yeah. So please check that out. We have a hoot and good time, and it would be nice to see you guys. I know it's late, a little late, but that's why I try not to do it every Friday because I am trying to get people like, listen, I need to get some sleep. So it's like every other Friday. This particular Friday, I don't know. It's my birthday weekend, but I don't think I'm.
Take it off. Take it off.
Yeah, I know. I am.
Go make some stories so you can come and tell.
Yeah, we want to do that, but yeah, definitely. But like I said, it's always great to have you guys here. It is always great that we get to share. Just be real. Please email me whatever that was going on because I was totally lost in the sauce. So I don't want to think that I ignored you or if you felt slighted in any way or anything. Just send me an email and we can chop it up there. Jess, thank you for popping in. I think I might have to send some papers to Tanari. I think we might be getting a divorce. And Tanari don't love me no more. I think she found a new husband. So that's okay. My feelings aren't hurt.
Then T, put your paperwork in, girl.
Nah, I ain't trying to fight. No, I ain't trying to fight Rebel. Please, Rebel and Kai too.
And the dog, yeah, the dog be hanging on your throat.
You see the way he be chewing on that little toy?
Oh yeah, that toy.
You be talking about Tracy.
I was like, please take that shit away from him.
You're like, Tracy, you say Tracy? I'm like, child. Yeah, no, nothing serious. Nothing serious. To be real, it's all love. Nothing serious. But if you had a comment or something you wanted to share, just email me. It's not a problem. Wait, did one guy send a video or email? I don't know. As a matter of fact, I haven't checked. I don't know, but I will check. Now that you said it. I don't know, but I will check. Yeah. I don't have a snooch. It's just I don't have a snooch. Mm-mm. I don't have a snooch.
Well, too, if you have any salacious stories for the nightcap,
Yes,
there's an email address.
exactly. If you have any stories or any,
You don't have to give your name.
right, you don't. Please don't. You don't have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
give your
Please
name.
don't. Yeah, because
No.
it's just something about when you just know these things.
Yeah, yeah. Please don't give your name. But if you have a salacious story that you want to share, that we could share on the nightcap, there's the email for that. Um, and it will be shared during our segment called drunk text. You know, like that drunk text that you text somebody that you probably don't really like, but they give good whatever it is that they do. So when those times that you've had a little bit too much, or you're in the mood, you give them a call. So that's that moment. So if you had any moment like that, or just something crazy that happened, um, you could share it during the nightcap. We will read it and give our thoughts, and
It's
that
all in fun.
yeah, it definitely is all in fun. Even when we do have um, the conversations or the kind of back and forth with the questions, it's really all in fun. Just a way for you guys to get to know a different side of me and vice versa. Um, because most of the time it is so serious that we do need some downtime. And trust me, I am
True.
very thankful for the downtime I get with you guys because a lot of this stuff is pretty heavy. So it is nice to
And on a daily basis. That's the
right.
sad part.
They don't never stop. So
Hmm.
it is nice to literally and figuratively let my hair down and kind of just relax, relate, release, and make people partially pregnant. Yes.
I was waiting to see if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw it. I was trying to ignore it, but yeah. So yeah, I don't have a snooch. That's right. I can make people fully pregnant, but partially I try to just That's like when you get out just in time. Well, look, a little bit was in there, but not enough. Not enough.
What a weak pullout game?
But sometimes it's just that good. I mean, I tell you, sometimes
Or
it
do
is.
you just say, "Oh, what the hell"? No.
Yeah, that's right. Lente, moisturize it out. Just moisturize it out. What can you say? Just moisturize it out.
Moist.
Moisturize it out. Um,
Smell like mint. Yep. Fatty dude.
no. Oh no, I am not. No, I'm not. I will not let you know. You will not know. No hog mogs, no chitterlings. We won't be doing nothing. Oh, thank you, Queen Lady T. Thank you so much. It's not till next week, but thank you for the early. I appreciate it. Um, just kept smelling like mint. You know what, Patty Duke? I love you, Patty Duke. I love you, but please don't listen to Antonio with that bullshit. It smells like mint. I do not smell like nobody's mint. Um, Earth. Oh gosh,
You say earth.
I smell like dirt, basically.
Dirt.
Like dirt. No, I don't eat chitlins. I don't eat them things. I can watch you eat them, but I ain't eating them. Mm. As a matter of fact, I can watch you eat them, not cook them, because I won't be in the house because the smell is atrocious and I can't deal with the smell. But I can definitely watch you eat them.
Coconut
Smells like
oil.
coconut oil and
Mhm.
sandalwood. Now, oh, I probably now coconut oil. I know I definitely smell like. Probably some sandwood or some because there is this fragrance that I particularly like from Avon. And for those of you looking for Avon, I do sell that too. That's in my bio on my thingy. So if you're looking for some skin so soft or something, just hit it up. Um, it's called True Gent. It smells pretty good. I mean, it's got like a sandy wood type of, but it smells good. Um, so I probably do a little bit. Yeah, that's right. You don't eat that shit. You have standards. Well, what you gonna feed it to me for? See, already that's calls for divorce. See, that's the problem. See that right there. How you gonna feed somebody something that you don't eat yourself? Let me find out what.
Probably testing you to see if you eat pork.
No, the only other white meat I eat is other thing. He said, "What?" Antonio said, "You smell natural." He said, I smell like nature." He said, "I smell like dirt."
Like dirt. Yeah.
He said, "I smell like earth." Okay, now what is earth? Dirt, leaves and trees and dirt, grass, dirt.
Mm-mm-mm.
Stop trying to take up for him. It's okay. At least have some bacon. Is it turkey bacon?
Now I'll be over there for bacon.
Now, see, I don't even do unless it's turkey. Yes, dirt. Right, Lynn T. Dirt. Exactly. Dirt. The nerve. That's all right. That's all right. That's why I said what I said when he said he had his 20-year-old body. Nah, I love him. He's cool. Um, is it your? No, it's not my birthday. My birthday is not until next Tuesday, so the 22nd. But thank you for the early birthdays, guys. Definitely appreciate it. But it's not till next week. Not till next week, and a, I'll be a sexy old man. Nah, you don't need as old as you feel, and I don't feel any older. I still get people talking about something. No, let me see your license. No, get out of here. But we've had that my whole life. My mother used to think it was a joke. She'd do it like we'll be in the department store, we'll be somewhere, and she'll be talking to somebody, and they'll be like, and they be like, she was like, guess how old my kids are, and they look at us, and they be like, but they look so young. They were like, "Da-da-da-da-da." Like, nope. And she was like, "Da-da-da, nope." And then here come my brother, who's taller, and at the time he was heavier, and he was like, Ma, she, do not call me that out here. What?
Spoiling, messing up everything.
Yeah, messing up everything. But yeah, but it ran in the family because my mother used to drive, like if her car, if my father had her car or whatever, and she would just drive my brother's car. He would get in trouble all the time. His girlfriends would be calling, "You had something in your car, driving your car." He was like, "That's my mother."
Wow. That'd
So
be bad. You get your ass stomped because of your mother driving your car.
yeah,
I don't believe you. You going after Mills.
it was a lot of it was a lot of that growing up. A lot of that growing up. 'Cause a lot of people even thought that my grandmother was my mother when she would go on field trips because my mom couldn't go because she would just be getting home from work by the time we would be pulling off. So sometimes my grandmother would tag along. They'd be like, "Oh, your mother's so nice." I'd be like, "That's not my mother. That's my grandmother." They'd be like, "Uh, how is your grandmother?" She's just like, "Oh, my grandmother's like so and so." Like, well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. There's some young people in my house. I don't know.
I gotta say, maybe grandma wasn't carrying it like that.
Right.
You know, now grandma's hang out at the club.
Right. Right. Only thing my grandma likes to do is electric slide. Let that song. I mean, she'll hang around. You know,
Hmm.
that's I will say that about grandma. She will hang around the party, but she won't really get it in until the electric slide come on. Now that
Slide,
comes
come on.
on,
Oh, that's a
she,
warm up. Okay.
yeah, she'll hit the floor. But
Hmm.
other than that, she'll. At first, even when I was young, I was older, but still younger than I am. I was afraid to drink around my grandma. She's like, "You're not gonna go get a drink?" I was like, "No, because you're gonna tell."
It's pretty bad if your grandma snitch on you.
Grandma always snitched. Grandma always snitched. My mother was the
Well,
go-to.
you see, you weren't even doing it right. You're supposed to bring grandma back a drink too.
Well, grandma don't drink.
She don't drink. You could
No.
have bought her back a virgin something.
Mm. I don't think they made no virgin anything. It's one of them. You gotta make your own.
Pepsi or Coke.
Yeah. Right. All you gonna get is the Pepsi or the Coke in the glass.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's crazy.
Hmm.
But that's about it. I think we've been out here long enough. Um, thank you guys. You said what? I want you to say, but no, he's a twin. He's going to call his twin and wish her the happiest birthday ever. First of all, I'm not going to call her because I don't even have her number. So that's not happening. She's going to get the card and that's all it's going to be. Okay. Thank you. You heard what I said. Also, grandma is petty too. Grandma is very petty. And I've noticed how petty grandma is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the older grandma has got. She's got even extra petty.
Extra petty. Well, yeah.
Grandma's petty.
Now, that is one thing that happened that I can definitely speak on that one. The older you get, the more petty you get.
Petty. And it's like, wait, but you're supposed to be the it. Like you supposed to be it. Like everybody's supposed to come to you. You supposed to be like, nah, y'all don't do that.
Yeah.
It's like she'd be up there like, fuck em, what? What? Okay. See if you be saying that later. But be like, what is it? That was just me being petty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Grandma is very petty. And I don't know what sign she is. November 19th, whatever sign that is. But she's petty.
But I like when old people get petty. They just do it with
funny.
such finesse. They do it with such finesse.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's extra funny. Like you can't
Tone
do nothing. You can't
Tone
do nothing
doesn't change or nothing. Mm-mm.
You can't do nothing but laugh. Yeah, but my petty is even kill. Like I'm just even tone. The only time you really get like a rise out of me, I really have to be totally upset. Like my brother likes to do that. Like he likes to wait, hold stuff, and be like, "Hey, did you hear?" And then just sit back and be like, "Watch him go." And it's
Watch
like,
it go.
see, you do that on purpose. So I've learned to kind of like, I'm not gonna react because I know that's what you.
That's what they're waiting for.
You wait for me to react, and then I'm gonna react, and then lash out, and then you just gonna be like, "See, I told you. I was just waiting for him to go off." Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just my grandmother thinks she's
Scorpio petty can be fun.
Yeah, my grandmother thinks she's saved, sanctified, and holy too.
Oh, on top of that,
right? Because you sat in the pew for like 50 some odd plus years, I guess. Hey, what's going on, Smart Show? Thank you so much for the super chat.
Hey, Smart Show, how you doing, Pastor Nate?
Thank you, Pastor, for the super chat. Hopefully I dropped a nugget. So, one day I am gonna drop a nugget of wisdom, so therefore I can be on your God moment. That is my goal. That is my goal to be on your list. But yeah, thank you so much for the super chat. Definitely appreciate it.
Are you going to sing the song?
No. I am original. I don't sing. I don't sing other people.
You could be original song.
No. Okay. Oh, really? Is she a Scorpio? I thought she was a Scorpio. Okay, maybe she is a Scorpio. That explains a lot, though.
Yeah, you may.
Oh, my grandmother? Because she has like this stingy way with her. Like she just has this stingy way. Yeah, she really did have like this stingy kind of way. Because I remember, maybe like 2 years ago now, I had went to the house and my intentions was not to be like mad, but it was like this just sense of like, what are you doing? You're here. You're the only one here. You're the oldest one here. We've always been taught to, revile you and respect you. And here you are left in charge and you just letting stuff people just do whatever. I was just like, what? I was like, I just walked in the door like, hey, what are you doing? Like, mommy would never, ever, ever, ever. Like, she left you in charge for a reason. And if you're not doing it, then what are you doing?
Grandma need a break.
Well, then she...
Take a sip.
I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah, because you would have got yourself in trouble.
No, but I'm just saying, you could just, just take a trip, go down to Florida. Like, if you need a break, go down to Florida or do something. But you're not like here. You're hindering what could, because everything would have just ran kind of the way it always had run. But you know how people are when they figure the person is gone, they gonna try and
Yeah, they're gonna try.
sneak their way and sneak their hand. And I've always, because I'm not the closest to my mother, but the closest to my mother in certain aspects, that part of it, as far as how things are run and not taking no shit, that's me and her all day, and that's why we always butt heads. But yeah, none of that would have happened. Like, all the stuff that has happened thus far, so the reason why, like, me and my sister are kind of like, all that wouldn't have happened, because I seen it when it was happening and was like, is somebody gonna stop this? Like, what you talking about? I said, this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen, and that's gonna happen, and that's gonna happen too. And they're like, no, I think you're overreacting a little bit. Okay. Called me right up and was like, man, if you didn't tell it, if you didn't hit it right on the head, how'd you know? Because I know these people. What are you saying? You grow up with somebody long enough, you better be paying attention. Just because they old don't mean that they, certain aspects of them change, and certain aspects of us, of ourselves.
It always stays the same.
But there are certain aspects that do stay the same. So, you just got to always be mindful. Yep. But yeah, that's it. I think I'm done ranting, running my mouth. Anything
and your health and wellness.
Yep, that was it.
Okay.
So I'm going to send a card.
Okay.
With no return address.
Okay.
I'm debating
because she can get in touch with you if she wanted to anyway. So
maybe, yeah. I mean, yeah, she could. Honestly, she could.
Okay.
But again, you're always looking for me to do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I ain't doing it.
Okay. You sure now?
Oh, no, I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure. People ain't, you know what? Shut up.
Yeah, don't get yourself in trouble.
I'm not gonna get myself in trouble. I'm just like, it's really like people they don't even know where they're gonna go. Because I just stopped. I was just like, I'm not doing this. I can't make sure, like, because that's how everybody looked at my mom, like, to do this, do that. She's got this, she's got that. She's gonna do this, she's gonna do that. She's always gonna be there to do this and handle that. And it's like, I was like the only one out the bunch that was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Thank you for all that you've done. I'm going way over here. I'm gonna act like you don't exist. I'm not gonna ask you for anything. I'm gonna just be over here and figure it out. And it was just like, you make it work. Now everybody acting like they don't know how nothing's done, how to do anything. And you're just like, what have you been doing? Nothing? Okay. Have at it. Have fun. So that's all. That's all. That's it. And that's all. That's me all over cap. Yeah, I know. I don't know. And I constantly have these kind of things like, okay, quick story. So the night this is a story crazy. So I bought, I broke down and bought the little earbud thingies because I was so like, no, I'm gonna get them and I'm gonna lose them. One's gonna pop out of my ear and I'm gonna be mad and lose them.
The Apple earbuds.
Yes. Yeah. But I bought the first generation ones, right? Because I was like, again, like my mother in every aspect, right, of that concern. Like as far as spending something that I really don't think is quite necessary, but it's like, okay, whatever. But not in the aspect where I would just get it. Like my mother would never. She'd just be like, I'm not even participating in it. I don't care. I would still break down and get it. So I get it. The first day, I was
and lost it.
No, I was at the bar celebrating my best friend's birthday, and um, this lady was looking at me because she was talking to one of my other friends, and my other friends does crystals and stuff, and she's like, "Oh, I seen your work on Facebook. How much is this? How much is that?" And she just kept looking at me, and I already knew when she looked at me that she had something to tell me, because a lot of people do that. They look at me and they be like, "It's all over you. It's all over you. Can I speak to you for a second?" And I'm just like, "Here we go again." So I already knew what it was because growing up in church, I visit churches and somebody would be like, "Oh, can I talk to you for a second? The Lord told me, or this one told me," and I'm just like, sometimes, girl, that wasn't the Lord. You just looked around and you just was like, it was what it was. But anyway, she said what she said, and I already knew what she was getting to. This whole thing of me, quote unquote, running, and I'm still trying to figure out what she means by that. And I'm thinking more like of what I do as far as politics and really, really like running for something, because I'm just like, I really don't personally me see myself there, but I know other people do. Because even here and other places, when I do, they be like, "Oh, you should like." I'm totally, and I'm just like, "No, I just want you to do your part. Like this is my lane. Like I just want you to do your part." But anyway, I digress. So she's like, "Well, can I hug you?" And I'm like, "Sure." So she hugs me, and I felt it just go ploop, and instantly I'm like, "Okay," so it just dropped right there. So we break apart, look, gone. Looking all around, gone. I'm hitting a little lost thingy, and it's just saying right here because, of course, I got the other one in my pocket
Yeah.
in case. So I'm just like, this is not helping, and I'm hitting the one that's lost. But of course, with music playing, everybody already out there, you're not gonna hear this little faint toot toot. Mind you, this thing sounds like somebody going underwater, like toot 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 toot. Who's gonna hear that?
He's going to hear that.
If I really lost something, that's all like, what is Apple doing but taking money? Because if I really lost something, I want to hear it. It should be screaming. It should say my whole name.
It should have had a tracker. You should be able to pull up a little map.
But I mean, it does. You go find your thing. It's supposed to track it like as it's moving. But I just figured that the person that took it, because it had to be one dude, of course. The whole time everybody's looking, he's just sitting there like. And then as soon as I was just like, forget it, wherever it is, blah, 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 I turned around to do something else. And he was the only one out the group that left the area. So I was like, man, whatever. So yeah, that was my whole thing. And I was like, see, that's why I didn't want to get none in the first place. But it definitely is whatever. But I was moving. Wow. You moved further than me. I mean, I didn't move that far. I just moved from New York to Maryland, but been here ever since. Yeah.
Why Maryland?
Funny. Actually, my best friend from New York, who actually just popped up on Saturday. He was the reason why I came down here, because he was down here with his half sister, and then he moved in by himself, and he was having issues, and I was on my way to work sometimes dropping some money in his account or doing something. I was just like, dude, I'm doing all this. Why don't my goal was to be out of the house, especially after I graduated college, to be out of the house by the time I was 25. I was determined not to be in the house past the age of 25, only because my brother stayed, I think, till he was like 30 or close to being 30, and I was like, I refuse. That's just no way. Plus I felt like, and that was just me being petty, because my mother was all like, oh, you're gonna pay rent. I'm just like, but I lived here my whole life. How am I gonna pay rent now? You should have me paying for.
She was helping you to launch. You always tell your kids that when you weren't ready for them to go.
Yeah, but then that's all you have to do is say go. I mean, we always got the speech. Like this was the speech. You know, you and your brother, this is the door. She'd be like, this is the door. This is your face. Y'all face is like this to the door. But my sister, she can stay. She can stay as long as she wants. But y'all like this to the door. So I was like, well, let me help you. I'm out of here. Uh, so yeah, that's how that was. I really just packed up whatever I could, put it in a box or boxes. I think I had two big boxes and took them to UPS, and then I had two suitcases. And I just,
Oh, so you just shipped everything down.
yeah,
That was good.
I came, and then that was a learning experience because it was just like, what? You live like what? Who lives like this? Oh no, I don't live like this. I felt the, as people like to say about me, my bougie side come out. Like I don't live like this. This is oh no, we are not like who sits on a fold up chair? I don't know what that is. I
A
have
standard bachelor's pad.
but no, see, I didn't know anything about that. Like I've grown up with sofas or sectionals and stuff like that. So I was like, you do what?
Mhm.
Who no. So I, did what I had to do and got furniture and did all that. And it was like, because I'm going to live how I am accustomed to living. I'm not going to sacrifice that for um, anybody to make somebody feel like, oh well, this is how I want to. This is how we live in. No, it's how you live in, not me.
Mm.
So I did that and just been here ever since, working and stuff and met some cool people and some people I consider family. So it was an experience. I mean, in hindsight, would it have been Maryland? Probably not, because I didn't know much about it other than Baltimore. Because my first cousin is from Baltimore, so we would come and pick him up every summer and then bring him back to New York. Uh, but I never knew there was other parts of Maryland. But I'm, been here for so long that it's like, oh, okay, it's got a lot of history here too, though. So and I'm a history buff.
Oh yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, I done been to a lot of plantations. I done been to the museum, the Black Heritage Museum that they have up in like almost somewhere near. Gosh, where is that near? It's up there, almost near where Harriet Tubman grew up at. What's the name of that place?
Cambridge, Eastern Shore.
Yeah, I think it's up there, not too far from there. They have an Emancipation Day or something that they have.
Yeah.
They have a lot of stuff there too. That was really cool, but yeah, I mean it's been cool. It really has been cool. What you say? No, you really can't put a price on please. You better tell it. You sure can't. Um, and then too, I liked it because people you had to call me to tell me you was coming. You pop up all.
Oh, couldn't just pop up.
You pop up all this way. You be a sad puppy because I won't.
Hope you have a hotel room.
I hope you have something. And my mother would always do that. I'd be like, Mom, but I have the extra. Oh no, it's okay. I don't want to inconvenience you. I was like, what? I said to myself, what you think you're gonna see? Like this huge orgy, like whatever it is you might think you see, you don't want to see. Like,
she don't want to know. That's why she was going.
But my whole thing with her is, it'd be like, okay, well, I live next. First of all, I lived in the same room with, then next door to, person that was humping and bumping right over your head. Tons, like so much so that you would wake up and come up the steps and go, all right, get a hotel room. Don't be doing that, because he didn't know that she happened to be home that night. Either she was off or she took off, but he didn't know because, of course, he was out.
He's living life dangerously. Okay. Yeah,
but of course, Dad didn't mind. Dad was probably up there like sleeping, like, yeah, that's my boy, and he didn't care. But if my mother was home, she would definitely.
Oh no!
She would embarrass the shit out of him, and I'd be cracking up. And he'd come. She'd walk down the steps first because we were on the third floor. So she would walk down the steps first, and then he would peek his head in my room and talk about something. Well, you didn't tell me she was home. I said, I didn't know she was staying. Knowing good and well, I knew she was staying.
Somebody has a question.
Yes, what is your question? I have to ask off topic. Sure, you can. Hurry up, though. What kind of screen name is she? But okay, that's different. I know. I was. I know I was. I was. I really was. This is what happens. This is why I do. This is why I just be like, but it's cool. It's fine. I mean, what else do I have to do? I don't have a Thursday anymore.
And what did you do with your Thursday?
Nothing really. I just relaxed. I hear about
sides. Gay culture.
Sides?
Explain.
Can you explain? I don't know what you mean by sides. I am confused. I don't know what you mean by sides. Yeah, no gentleman's panel. Yeah. I don't know what you mean by sides, so please explain. Lucy, you have some explaining to do, because I don't know what you mean. You have some explaining to do. But I mean, if we're going by sides, everything got sides. I mean, I don't understand sides. I don't know what that means. If you mean like the alphabet.
There are tops, bottoms, and sides. What are sides?
I've never heard of a side. I don't know. I know of tops, verse, and bottoms. So maybe sides would be a verse person. And the verse person is somebody who could either top or bottom.
Potato salad, mac and cheese, green beans.
You're right. That's what I was thinking.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was like. Sides, okay.
Sides of what?
You saw it on TikTok. I don't know. Let's do something new.
Saw it on TikTok. Oh, I don't know. I mean, no. My nieces and stuff got me watching TikTok, so I don't really. I'm still learning. I really don't know what.
Coleslaw? I don't know.
Right. Side pieces. Side. I don't know.
Yeah, side piece.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
You have to remember, terms change so much.
Yeah, they do. So please don't tell me. I feel like
but that's the first thing I thought about. I was like, potato salad, mac and cheese.
He said it means those who do foreplay but not penetration. Oh, that's new to me. That is new.
It means those who do foreplay.
That is new.
It's called foreplay.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Or they're called like, what did the man say? He said, oh, what did he say? But it was basically like giving his title, like he's like if he did anything sexual, which he didn't, but if he were to do anything sexual, he would be the top. But he liked to do XYZ, which was the foreplay part. So I mean, it was just like whatever. But I ain't never heard of a side. That's different. Mm-hmm. That's different.
Is there money involved?
Right.
Let's see.
You can
research or do a show on it.
Oh, of course. We can save it for a nightcap. That'll be
interesting. For the nightcap, yeah.
And I'm sure Antonio will definitely know what a side is.
Oh yeah.
Because he loves the research part of the sexual stuff. To engage.
He gets into that, huh?
All that kind of stuff. Like, he's really into it. Like that's why when he started like really getting, I know it's like here he go.
Look, when he hopped up and said, "Oh, I got some poppers right here." And I'm like, well, I'm not surprised. The guy with the toy box.
Right. Right. Definitely not. Would you say? I'm sorry. Are you going to add that to the letters? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to add it to the letters or not. I'm thinking that would go one of the letters already. What is what was like pansexual or something like that? I mean, I know that just means that they'll do whatever, but doesn't necessarily mean anything about or asexual because I think those are the people that don't really do the actual
You
act.
know what? Just say on the spectrum. It's just too much. It's too much.
Just say you like what you like. Why we even got to have
Yeah.
these labels? Like,
Yeah. You had all these labels.
yeah, he was, but it was all good. That's because he went from wine to brown,
Brown.
and brown makes the party go round.
Then he had somebody egging him on. So.
Goodness gracious.
Uh,
Oh, I know. I'm teasing. Lynn T, I know. What'd you say? He is Dr. Joe. All right. Okay. Okay. I'll check it out. I've never heard of it. Not a slide. Or a side, rather. I never heard of it. All right. But this time, for real, for real. I'm out of here.
Let me jot that down real fast.
You guys be well. Moisturize. Be safe. Summer is approaching, so,
And make sure you
moisturize. Don't
Patty
miss.
Duke, what's the name of that moisturizer you coming up with?
Oh my
So we
gosh.
so we'll know to
You should make it like something like Duke's mayonnaise. Dukes. Dukes.
Yeah, we have to make sure we support Patty.
Right. Dukes. It doesn't make
It's
you.
a black-owned business.
Let me see. Dukes. With Dukes, there's no dry.
You know what? Yeah, keep that in mind.
I know, right? Dukes.
Definitely better keep that in mind.
Mm-mm.
You say gross Dukes. That's right. It's no dry.
Yes. Dukes, there's no dry. There you go. Boom. I just want 10% of royalties, please. 10%.
That's right. Black-owned business.
Black-owned
Remember,
business.
support black-owned business.
That's right. Because remember, Dukes doesn't get you dry. Keeps you nice and moist. But yeah, seriously. Because you guys, I can keep going. Because you guys are so much fun. It's like sitting there talking to my friends. But yeah, I'm going to shut up and go. But support the Dukes and stay moisturized. But anyway, thank you, Brother Nate, for popping on. Definitely appreciate you, even from your phone. Greatly appreciate it. We can tell the
Comcast,
difference.
you are trash.
You can tell the difference, though. We don't get those pixels of you all up in the, it was like, oh, the glow.
Glow, no, way back. No, that's enough. I can barely see the screen. It's so goddamn small.
It's all right. It's quite all right. We definitely appreciate it. And Just, thank you for popping on and doing your thing. Patty Duke, as always, thank you. Lynn T, thank you for stopping by. To all the other content creators in the room that stopped by.
Good night, ladies.
Thank you, Shishi, for that. I will definitely look into that little side piece. Thank you, Pink, for popping in. Queen Diva, I saw that you had popped in earlier. Thank you so much. Lori London, Loretta Lynn, thank you. Who else?
Smart Show.
Yeah, Smart Show. Thank you for the super chat. Definitely appreciate that. What else?
Queen Lady T.
Yeah, Queen Lady T, thank you so much for popping in. Thank you for catching that. Just Be Real, thank you so much for popping in. Definitely appreciate you. And for those of you who want to watch later on the replay, thank you so much for watching and participating. And for those of you who didn't hit the like button on your way in, please make sure you hit the like button on the way out of Cap Hill, please. Thank you. We here at the channel, thank you so much. And until next time, um, love, peace, hair grease, and moisturize. Love you guys. Peace.
Good night.